So I've been using the iPhone 17 Pro Max for about 2 months now, and I always think it's a good idea to revisit devices as expensive as these iPhones and give you updates on how things have changed and if I've made any new discoveries. This isn't gonna be like a comprehensive review in terms of features and like what's new per se, since you can find out all that information on my other iPhone 17 content on the channel. This is more of a look back on its durability, real world things that I've noticed, and just expanding on things I felt I wasn't able to get into in my other reviews. So today we're going to be looking at the good, the okay, and the ugly from my experience. Starting with what I liked, I still think I'm a fan of the cosmic orange color. I'm not as in love with it as I was in the very beginning, if I'm being honest. I think the hype for this color definitely waned on me, and I've had days questioning if I made the right choice. But 2 months in, if you gave me a free exchange for a silver iPhone 17 Pro Max instead, I still wouldn't take it. Like, we've asked for a vibrant color on the Pro phone for years, and we finally got one, whether you love it or hate it. For me, I like it just enough to keep it around, but I do hope in the future Apple gives another vibrant option, as I'm not really an orange guy. I'd love something like a Ferrari red. Like, I think that's a huge opportunity for Apple to look into for their next Pro phones. I also think the entire design as a whole has grown on me. Like, the new camera visor makes the back of the phone look more uniform and complete compared to previous years. And even with the switch back to aluminum, like, I haven't noticed a massive change in weight. It still feels really nice to hold in the hand. I actually did have a period of time where I used the smaller 17 Pro, and I had made a whole video covering my experience using both the Pro and the Pro Max, and nothing has changed in terms of my opinion. I still prefer big phones for a ton of reasons. For one, you get significantly better battery life. I never have to worry about this phone dying on me, still to this day. I swear I can go upwards to 2 days without charging on light use, and it would require like really heavy usage on my part to kill it on a single day from 100%. Second, iOS just looks so much nicer to me on a bigger display. The animations, the colors, everything renders and looks beautiful and immersive on a larger screen. And finally, the times that I do find to play some games on my iPhone, it's so much better to play on the Pro Max simply because you get a larger screen. You get sucked in more to what you're actually playing. Shout out to Destiny Rising 2. That game is amazing. And speaking of performance and gaming, actually, the vapor chamber cooling system added into here has made an incredible difference to my experience. Like, for example, I shoot all of my photos in ProRAW and then throw them into Lightroom for like a quick or long edit. On previous generation iPhones, like literally the 16 Pro Max from last year, within minutes, like the phone would get hot due to the demands that Lightroom is just putting on the processor, and the screen would just dim down and it wouldn't be a pleasant experience. On the 17 Pro Max, this hasn't even happened once. It's so refreshing. Like, it still shocks me in a lot of ways, since I've just been conditioned to expect thermal throttling every time I jump into Lightroom. So it's been a lot of fun to just pop into Lightroom, edit photos, do a ton of them at once, and not have my phone heat up on me. And speaking of photos, they look freaking awesome. I took this phone recently to New York City as I went on a trip with Asus to look at some of their Intel-based Windows PCs, and every photo I took off this phone, with minimal effort by the way, in ProRAW and some basic grading in Lightroom, had come out looking like a stunner. I'll say this, year over year, iPhones take some of the best photos ever on a phone, and the ProRAW format is just so compatible with Lightroom and editing to get it to look the way that you want it to. It's incredible. Even the zoom range has been wild. Like, look at some of these examples in New York. It's bonkers what you get in stills, and it's even crazier how it looks in video mode, where honestly you have a little video telescope in your pocket to see really far distances that your eyes just couldn't perceive otherwise. And then there are all the little nice to haves that I've noticed from my experience over the last couple of months, like the display getting insanely bright, or the fact that as someone who constantly forgets to charge their phone, it's amazing that this thing can go from 0 to 50% in just 20 minutes over a wire. I've honestly relied on that fast charge more times than I would like to admit. And because I recently upgraded my home with these new Asus Wi-Fi 7 routers, the iPhone 17 Pro Max has been flying on my network because it does have those radios in there that make it compatible with the new Wi-Fi setup. And honestly, getting those kinds of routers set up kind of opened my eyes to how much more tech I needed to think about after moving into a house for the first time after getting married this year. Suddenly, things like Wi-Fi coverage and home security actually mattered in a way that never did in the apartment that I moved from. In every building that I lived in, I had on-site concierges and fob access only buildings to keep things secure. But now that I'm in this kind of giant house, you're on your own for a lot of things. So when Eufy reached out and offered to help me get set up with security cameras, I honestly jumped on it right away, and they are actually the official partner of this portion of the video. These are their brand new eufyCam S4 cameras, and I've installed them on both the front and back of my home, connecting them wirelessly to the HomeBase S380 tucked away in my furnace, which links to my Wi-Fi 7 router system and gives me a full AI-powered security setup for the house. The first thing that makes this amazing is the fact that they're solar powered, and after having them installed for 2 months, the batteries have stayed close to 100% at all times, since it just takes 1 hour of direct sunlight to get a full day's worth of power, letting me mount them higher and out of reach without ever having to worry about charging or swapping the batteries. Second, each unit uses a dual 4K setup with a fixed wide-angle lens and a 360-degree PTZ dome camera with up to 8 times zoom that features AI tracking with real-time streaming video output. When something enters your property, the camera automatically locks on, follows the subject, and auto zooms so the dome camera can track people or animals clearly as they move across the scene. And third, pairing these with the HomeBase unlocks this bionic mind AI, which can recognize familiar faces and strangers with 99% accuracy and even track someone from camera to camera, automatically merging related clips into one clean event if a person moves from the front of the house to the back. And that's just scratching the surface, since you also get night vision, bright deterrence lights, a siren that triggers if someone tries to physically tamper with the camera, and just so much more. All I'm gonna say, guys, is that this setup has given me a huge amount of peace of mind as someone who's literally never lived in a house before, and it honestly makes me want to add even more Eufy cameras and explore more of what their ecosystem has to offer. So if you want to check out the eufyCam S4, click the link at the top of the description down below today. Now let's move on to the okay, the stuff that aren't bad per se about my iPhone experience, but they haven't also done a whole lot for me either. Apple Intelligence, unfortunately, embodies this mantra a lot. Not much has really changed. We still have Genmojis, writing tools, and the visual intelligence features of the world, and none of it has moved the needle for me. I still hold out a deep hope that Apple will figure out AI and give us something to latch onto and to be excited about the way that we are about ChatGPT and Gemini and what Google is up to. The major problem that I face when I'm writing about my experience with iPhone is that I never have much to say about Apple Intelligence because I never find myself using it. All of their stuff works as promised. Let me get that straight. Everything works, but I'm gonna go to ChatGPT or Gemini if I wanna proofread instead of using their writing tools. I know visual intelligence is cool. I've talked about that and I've communicated that in videos, but honestly, I'm just gonna take a screenshot and again, throw it in the ChatGPT or Gemini because I just get better responses that way. Who knows what the future holds for Apple Intelligence? I'm crossing my fingers that Apple gets it right in iPhone 18. Another thing is that depending on your region, if you have eSIM-based phones, you actually get more battery life as Apple expanded it on those devices by a tiny amount, which I'm personally all for. I don't have a problem with eSIM. I know some people were really disappointed in Canada that we've now switched over to eSIM iPhones, as I personally find it relatively easy to switch SIMs from one phone to another with my carrier. But I have heard that depending on your carrier, it can be quite a hassle. So that's why this is gonna sit in neutral territory. I feel like some people are really annoyed about the fact that eSIM is here and traditional SIMs are gone, and other people don't really care like me. This next one is a bit of an interesting take. The new center stage camera, oddly enough, is going in here. I like it. Let me start off with that. It's a nice camera. It's much wider. It can fit more people. But I found that I haven't used it as much as I had hoped. I'm really not touching it a lot. Maybe it's my lifestyle. Maybe I just don't take a lot of group selfies. Although, I have friends who do have the 17 Pro Max as well, and I noticed that when they go for a group selfie, they still default to the rear ultra wide for higher resolution. So take that for what you will. And finally, I want to touch on these new tech woven cases. I have one for the iPhone 17 Pro, and I don't know how I feel about them still. They have sort of a textured, fibrous feel to them that doesn't feel amazing, but it doesn't feel bad. It just feels a little bit weird. It does make gripping your phone nicer, I can say that. And I do like the bronze accents on all the buttons, but I don't know if I would recommend buying this. Like those cases are not cheap. Apple cases are never cheap. And I've used so many iPhone 17 cases from other companies, and I just feel other companies do it so much better and they look way nicer than the ones from Apple. So I know cases are all personal preference, but I really think you should look elsewhere if you want the best case for the money that you're spending. Okay, so now let's discuss the ugly, the stuff that I don't like. And there's really only one thing, and it's the durability of the design. I've gone caseless for most of my tenure with the 17 Pro Max to really see how it would hold up, and it could have been better, honestly. I've dropped this phone a few times, and on all of the corners, you can see some pretty noticeable scuffs and bumps on the device. It's especially noticeable though, because I have it in Cosmic Orange. It makes me wonder if I got the silver, if these bumps wouldn't even be that noticeable. I'm gonna say that probably is the case, so take that for what you will. The display is also trending to be pretty scratched up as well. I already have some pretty visible wear on it. So all is to say, guys, is put a screen protector, get a case for your phone if you care about these things. I personally don't care that much, but I know other people do, which is why it's gonna be in the ugly section, because even though Apple has added a new ceramic shield on the front and back of the phone and increased the resistance of all these things by like 3 to 4 times, it's the most durable iPhone that they've ever made. Nothing has changed in terms of you needing extra protection. It's gonna still wear out. So just something to think about. So that's the iPhone 17 Pro Max for you. I've loved it for the most part, highly recommend it, but if you wanna save money, just get the regular 17. It's 90% of a Pro in the ways that matter, or just get the regular Pro if you care about wanting Pro features, but want to save some money. But if you do have like lots of money to blow and you just wanna get the absolute most premium, best thing that Apple sells, the Pro Max is just, it's not gonna disappoint you. This hasn't disappointed me at all. The battery life is incredible. It never gets hot. This is the one to get if you have the extra cash. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment an Apple if you made it to the very end of the video, and subscribe if you're brand new to my channel, and I'll talk to all of you guys in the next one. Peace.